Hey guys, it's your girl here, Liz from Lucha Libre Online, and I'm here with none other than Latino meet Cabrera and the current Santino's heavyweight champion. Uh, Talking about Santino's heavyweight champion, I know that this is your debut at WWE, and you actually defended the title today, the first title that is not a WWE title. How do you feel about that?
Well, first of all, I think it was pretty cool that they reached out to me to defend it on this show. I don't. I want to say it might be the first time the championship was defended
Sorry.
at another promotion. I could be wrong. I think Ray might have done that, but I'm not sure. I don't know my full history on that. But tonight here at VWE debuting, it was awesome. Great atmosphere, cold, but it was awesome.
And talking about cold, I know that you every time that you come out here, you come out, spraying yourself down. We didn't see your, and I don't want to call him this, but we didn't see your water boy here today.
I don't want to be rude and correct you, but he is not a water boy. He's a water spray man, which is a big difference. Yeah, he is. I want to say he's not Santino show exclusive, but when I need him most, he's there. And tonight, I felt like I didn't need to be getting sprayed in the middle of a match that was outdoor because that's how people get sick.
Yeah. Okay. Well, talking about, a little bit about VWE, I know that you were introduced as Latino Me, as I did earlier. I know that this is for a lot of people that are new with you, want to know, where did Latino meat come from?
I mean, if you look at me, just if it's your first time, it's the first impression you get. I mean, look at me, right? I'm Latino and I'm meaty. No, the truth is a good friend of mine, Johnny Yuma. I don't know how it came about. He mentioned something about Latino meat somewhere, somehow, and like it stuck with me. And I thought to myself, like, hey, I'm gonna use that. I like it a lot. And because back in the day, I would do this whole Cuban persona and all that. I did the whole Che Guevara look and all that. I had the beret, the green jacket, the cigar, and all that. And to be honest, that wasn't me. I knew nothing about Cuba. I knew nothing about that. I just knew his whole look. His face on people's shirt was cool. And I feel this whole Latino meat thing, like I could finally be myself. And I feel what you see in the ring, what you see with myself and Tito is as the Wolves Addies. That's full on me.
And talking about Wolf Daddies, because you did bring this up, and we did speak with Tito. But how did Wolf Daddies came about? How did you guys tag team together? Was it something that you guys were expecting? Something unexpected?
Well, originally, Tito would tag with Rico, who's also my other partner, as the Bandidos or Los Bandidos, and but me and Tito and Rico, obviously, we all got along. We all have so much in common, besides like more like interests, hobbies, all that stuff. But also, it's like three bigger Latin dudes. You know what I mean? But also, it's just like they took a liking to me from when I started training and stuff like that. And me and Tito just hit it off too. You know what I mean? And like I want to say, him and Rico stopped tagging for some reason. I don't know what happened, but me and Tito would always tag in Vegas for FSW, and we never had a name. But for some reason, we were called Los Pistoleros out there. Horrible name for whatever reason, but I mean that's gone already. And then when we were doing shows in San Diego, I don't know if we had a name during that time or we were just going out as hate because we had a whole faction called hate. But then I remember one time on a road trip, it was me, Tito, and Royce Isaacs in the car. And this was during the time where I was calling everybody Zaddy, like my friends Tito, Rico, Ray, I was just calling them Zaddy, and I felt like I need to jump on that. I need to use that Zaddy term before someone takes it, because if you look at a lot of people now, a lot of people referencing themselves as Daddy, you know, Dirty Daddy, Thick Daddy, um,
Lord.
Superman's Daddy, whatever. I want to say anyone can be a daddy. It's not that hard to become a daddy. You know what I mean? There's plenty of people who are dads, and they get called daddy. But it's a very special term. Not anyone can be zaddy, obviously.
Obviously. So, talking about, getting more involved with wolf studies, you guys recently made your GCW debut,
Yes.
and I know you guys got one hell of a pop. A lot of people really enjoyed what you guys had to bring to the table, and I know I actually got to speak and catch up with you guys after the show as a tag team. But since then, have you guys been thinking about any other shows that you guys probably want to target, or any promotions that you guys want to target? I know that you guys are also the current rival pro wrestling tag team champions. I know you guys do have a show coming up in January, but from here to January, it's about a month and a half. Is
Yes.
there anything that Wolf Daddies has coming up?
Well, what we have coming up, honestly, as a tag team, I think is just in January. And I do have some singles shows coming up. But like you said, is there any other shows that are on our mind or on our bucket list or whatever? A show that I want us to get on together is would be Prestige. Prestige Wrestling. They run in Pomona when they do their shows out here, and I believe they have a show in January as well. Would you have the 21st?
I believe so.
It's the 21st, maybe, I think. And yeah, we just need to get in contact with them, and hopefully, like you said, GCW, awesome pop. It was awesome. We killed it with their tag champs. And like, we had a lot of great fan feedback. I just feel every time me and Tito just get in there together, there's just this chemistry because we're both just being ourselves. You know what I mean? There's no gimmick, there's no act. That's us. You know what I mean? We're not acting hard or anything like that. We don't act hard. I just feel we're a hard act to follow, and stuff like that. So Prestige, Circle Six, you know, and those would be two right now off the top of my head.
Awesome. And taking it back to just being a singles competitor, what has been your inspiration to Latino me, to Che Guerrero? Who has inspired you to become a wrestler, or, to start training?
Oh my God. I mean, since I was a kid, I grew up in the 90s. I grew up watching Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, Owen Hart, British Bulldog. Um, I just like to honestly incorporate all of them pretty much in some way. I mean, obviously not just them, but like just everyone I grew up watching, Eddie Guerrero, Kurt Angle, all this. I just feel like any style that is thrown upon me or upon us, we never fail to deliver because we could do any style, and then we could just incorporate and like do different stuff, different things, whatever style our opponents are known for or whatever like that, we're able to adapt and just knock it out the ballpark.
Oh, absolutely. I completely agree. I have been seeing you all over Southern California, seeing your style of wrestling within your different opponents. How do you prepare for each opponent? Is there a particular routine that you do to prepare for each opponent, or do you like to just scope out your
If I'm not familiar with them, I look them up immediately on YouTube or whatever. It's so easy to look someone up and I wouldn't say look up matches, but if you could find somehow highlights of a match or just highlights in general, just to see what type of moves they do or whatever like that, and then the ideas start flowing immediately. Like for GCW, we pretty much had that week to prepare, but I looked up. I forget how do you pronounce their name, their tag name, Los Maquizos, right? Los Macizos or something like that, and it's straight up like lucha libre, you know, incorporated with a bunch of other stuff. And like I looked them up. I even sent Tito stuff and like look, we're whatever, and then whatever we put together was awesome. So, but if I'm familiar already with them, then I already know what they do and stuff like that, and then I just incorporate what I do and stuff like that, which ain't much, but I make it work.
Well, talking about making it work, I know that you will be defending, or actually, let me go ahead and take this back a little bit. You recently had a death match against Ray Rosas
Yes, I
for
did.
your heavyweight championship. I know that, if I'm not mistaken, this is one of your first death matches.
It was my first death match in general. I want to say since the first day of training, I want to say a death match was on my bucket list, and I couldn't have asked for a better opponent. You know, I've known Ray since I first came up. You know, and like I want to say in matches in general, you know, it's all about trust. You know, and for sure in regular matches, I obviously trust him. You know, always in a death match, you know, my trust was all with him as well, and I feel you know, if you saw the match, you know, I just feel like it was amazing. You know, I look back at it, I look at the highlights, and I can't stop looking at it sometimes. You know, I'm very proud of that one.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Well, Che, I really want to thank you for your time. I know that you just had an insane match with Mike Check. So I just want to go ahead and say thank you. If you want to go ahead and let our followers know if you have any upcoming shows that we can go ahead and see you, we can go ahead and also drop your Instagram, your Twitter, anything that we can go ahead and follow you so that way we can go ahead and keep up with your upcoming shows.
Yeah, sure. All I have is Instagram and Twitter. If Twitter still does exist after this interview gets posted, because I don't know what's going on over there, but I do have Instagram and Twitter, and they're the same handle. So it is Che Cabrera underscore. That is Che Cabrera underscore. And as far as future shows coming up, yeah, I do have a few. Let me take out my notebook right here, and I just have it handy sometimes. So I don't know when this interview is getting dropped, but let's go with December. Tonight, VWE was my last November show. So let's say December 3rd and 4th will be a tamale fest in Indio. So if you're familiar with like Michelada Rumble, you know, and they're the same company that's running there, but this time instead of micheladas, it's tamales. And I mean, perfect timing for December. All my Latino fans out there who love tamales during the holidays, go out there. That's 2 days, a 2-day event. And then December 9th, Friday, I have MPW Wrestling in Chatsworth, California. December 11th, I'm back at New Japan. New Japan at the Vermont in Hollywood. And December 15th, Santino Bros Wrestling will have their last show of the year. Of course, I'm on there. I'm the champion. Who am I defending against? I don't know yet, but it doesn't matter because I'm a walkout champion anyway again. So, you know, whatever. December 18th, I do have it in Palmdale, California, New Tradition Lucha Libre, which they have asked me for it. I just haven't got confirmation. But once I get confirmation, December 18th in Palmdale. December 23rd is my mom's birthday. Gotta have the reminder. December 30th will be my last show of the year, which is at MPW again in Chatsworth, California. Now, I do have a few January dates already. So these are all I have in January so far. January 14th, I will be back here at BWE in Stanton, if it's here again, because I believe they have 2 different venues.
Yes.
Okay. And then January 27th, we have Winter Circle Pro Wrestling's debut show, where that will be actually a Wolf Saddy show, where we will be tagging there. I believe our opponents will be West Coast Wrecking Crew, which we are very familiar with. I'm going to be, funny story here, or fun fact, is in Las Vegas, we wrestled them their last show as the 1%, which they were known for in Las Vegas before they split up for a little bit. Now, in October 2020, when we did a random show in Burbank at Jim Logan Studios, was their first show as West Coast Wrecking Crew. So, fun fact. And then the next day, in Saturday, in Baldwin Park, will be Rival Wrestling. I don't know our opponents. I have a hunch. If you saw the poster, I have a hunch. But just look out for that flyer once it hits. So January 28th, 27th, and then January 14th, so far just for January. So keep up. More news to follow, hopefully.
Damn, so it looks like you're pretty booked.
I'm pretty booked, which is
Pretty
funny
booked.
because during the holidays, usually it slows down drastically for me. And I'm glad It didn't slow down this year because usually during the holidays and I don't have shows coming up, I tend to pig out and binge eat and let myself go. So here's to not happening this year.
Well, there you guys have it. Che Cabrera has listed every single event that he is going to be on for the next 2 months. So make sure that you guys go ahead and give him a follow up with all of his upcoming shows. Maybe more to add because I'm pretty sure he still has dates available.
Look how many pages I got. So many to fill.
But again, this is Latino Meet, Che Cabrera. Make sure that you guys give him a follow. And I am Heel Liz from Lucha Libre Online. And thank you guys so much for watching.
Thank you.